Welcome to the PowerPoint presentation, subject English, class 9th. Good morning, dear students. Today Mrs. Anne Mary, is here with the first chapter of class 9th, The Fun They Had from NCERT, written by Isaac Asimov. Before going further, I have prepared a list of content that I'm going to explain. Introduction of the author, previous knowledge, introduction of the story, detailed summary, comparative points of the two schools, value points, comparison between the two schools with the help of pictures, home assignment. Now we'll start with about the author. Isaac Asimov was born on 2nd January 1920 in Russia. He immigrated with his family to the United States and became a biochemistry professor by pursuing writing. He published his first novel, Fable in the Sky, in 1950, an immensely prolific author who penned nearly 500 books. He died in New York City on 6th April 1992. Now, I'm going to check your previous knowledge. Now, what do you think about these points? What kind of students would you want to have in the future? How much will the computer be involved in the future education? Will you feel more happy in a more developed high-tech society? Why or why not? You must be thinking that why I'm asking you these questions. This is because we are going to study about our present and future education. Let's begin with the introduction of the story. Introduction of the story. Isaac Asimov depicts a school system which is independent of human teacher and based on technical advance. The main advantage is the individual teaching which can train the personal talents. In this system, there are no human mistakes and it is a way to give every child the same knowledge and information. But there are some disadvantages too. Human peoples do not learn like a computer. I think learning has to be a kind of fun. Otherwise, the probability of forgetting is higher. Studies have come to the result that you can learn things better if you have fun while you are learning. Another disadvantage is that there are no social relationships like at school today. If a child lives in a neighborhood with no other children, it is alone and no social relationships with other children. Learning with friends at school can be a motivation. They improve their communication and other skills. In Asimov's future vision, there are no human teachers who can give moral values to the children. That is more important, which a mechanical teacher cannot give. Now, we'll go forward with the character sketches of the chapter The Fun They Had. Margie. Margie is the 11-year-old protagonist of the story and a friend of Tommy. Tommy is a Margie's 13-year-old friend who finds an extremely old book complete with wrinkly yellowing pages. County Inspector. He is a mechanic who fixes Margie's mechanical teacher when the lessons are too difficult for her. Margie's mother. She expects Margie to succeed in her education and is disappointed when Margie has difficulties with her geography lessons. Now, the summary of the chapter. In the year 2157, the 13-year-old Tommy finds an old book. He and Margie, who is 11, find it strange and the words on paper do not move after having been read. Nowadays, they only read stories on the computer screen. The book is about school centuries ago. Margie is surprised that in the past, pupil had a person as a teacher and that all children of the same age learned the same thing and went to a schoolhouse with other children. Margie wants to read more of the book, but first she has to learn with her machine teacher, whose level is too advanced for her, as she thinks school in those days was much better than today. Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days. I also think that school nowadays is better than in the story. In the story, the future in the school as described by Asimov, the social aspect is lost. There are no forms anymore. Everybody sits in front of his computer and the pupils cannot learn together because every child learns different things. I think the story, the fun they had, is very interesting. It shows how the world could be in 2157 when everybody owns a machine teacher. Isaac Asimov's representation of a non desirable school of the future gives you food for thought. How school should be and how much computers determine our lives. So, in my opinion, it is an excellent story. Now, some value points that I have noted. Margie and Tommy are students of future schools. Tommy finds an old book about school in an attic. They turn yellow, crinkly pages of the book and are surprised to see still words in the book. They thought the old book to be wastage of resources, as it was to be thrown after one use. But telebooks last longer and contain many books together. Margie hated school as a teacher gave her test and she performed badly. She hated the slot for putting homework and test papers. Margie's mother called county inspector who came with all his equipments and repaired it in an hour. Margie wasn't happy as she thought he would take the teacher for a few days. County inspector told her mother that Margie's performance was due to the faulty setting of her teacher. Tommy explained that centuries ago, the schools were not like this. They had a man as a teacher who taught students different subjects, asked questions, and gave homework also. Margie couldn't believe the man to be smart enough to have knowledge about different subjects. Tommy told that the school was in a special building and students would go there to study. Now Margie was interested in reading more about the old funny schools. Tommy and Margie attended school at a fixed time. Margie thought about the schools where kids had a lot of fun studying together and playing. Now, there is a difference between the present, I mean the old school, and the future school. Firstly, we'll discuss about the old school, the features of the old school. Teachers inculcate values such as love, respect, etc. in students. Teachers have limited knowledge as compared to robots. Teachers can be partial with the student sometimes. Teachers can give punishment. Heavy bags should be carried by students. Co-curricular activities is done. Now the future schools features mechanical. They are capable to teach at fixed hour without getting tired. They cannot be partial. They use modern technology for teaching. No bags or uniforms are required. They don't have emotional attachment. There is no co-curricular activities. In this slide, I have pasted some picture of old school classroom where the students are sitting together and the teacher is taking care of the class. There is two-way communication going on and the students are actively participating. And in this slide, I have shown future classroom where a single child is sitting in front of the computer all alone. No interaction, no participation, and only one-way communication is going on. Now you can easily make out which one is better. Now some home assignment for you. How old are Margie and Tommy? Had Margie ever seen a book before? What are three things about the book did she find strange? What do you think a telebook is? What subjects did Margie and Tommy learn? Thank you so much. Hope you like my presentation. Enjoy your day.